Hannah Oli Pop Rock Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Rock Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hits från Sverige och vi lyssnar till Pop Rock Radio med Jamie Roxx.
Hey everybody, welcome to the show. This is the Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. I'm your host, pop art painter Jamie Roxx, and this is the big show. I'm glad you found it. Super glad you found it, as are our advertisers. Remember to support them. They're supporting us, and, that's all good. So thanks for tuning in or listening. I don't want to leave out our audio subscribers and whatnot. Glad to have you. We're glad to be in your car or wherever you're listening to this at some point in the future. Anyhow, I am super excited today because we have got a guest. We've got a guest, another fantastic guest. She's cool, turned up to 10. I'm really a big fan of her music. And I will say it kind of takes me back a little. Not that her music's dated at all, but the subject matter of it, I don't think it's a big secret. Anybody who's followed my show for an episode or two or 1,000 pretty much knows I'm a retired club rat. I used to live a pretty fast life and whatnot. And then got to a point where I settled down. And I was just telling our guest, it's crazy. It's crazy. Anyhow, our guest is fantastic. Her name is, this is how cool she is. She's like Madonna. She only has one name, or Cher, if you will. Her name is Reli. Reli, all the way from LA. How are you today?
Doing well. How are you?
Great.
Love that intro.
Are you safe? Is everybody, you made it through the fire? All your peeps are okay and whatnot?
Yeah, safe and sound. It's awesome. I'm not awesome, but we're doing okay. No. Yeah, my heart goes out to everybody all people that are affected by this fire. It's bad, but everything will be okay eventually. And I'm so sorry this is happening. And my heart goes out to you. And yeah, I mean, we're good.
Crazy.
We're good.
Me and my wife were over at my mother-in-law's house, and I love my mother-in-law and father-in-law. They're great. They are at a certain age where they are reaping the benefits of work. They worked real hard their whole life. Now, every few months, they're going on a cruise somewhere crazy or something. They love that, and I love it for them. I think that's fantastic. But we were over there getting their itinerary. When do we need to go? They live like 3 blocks away. When do we need to go over there and water the plants and shit? That's what we're trying to figure out. Because we're good kids. But it was so interesting that the fire subject came up. And my wife said something that I hadn't even thought about. My mother-in-law, of course, was like, oh, those poor people and their beautiful homes and this and that.
It's so sad.
It sucks. And my wife chirped in and she was like, yeah, not only, she goes, that's terrible. In addition to that, all the people that worked in and on those beautiful homes and whatnot are now out of work. And we've all seen that LA ain't the cheapest place to be. Tight on funds.
It's sad. Yeah, it's devastating to see what you've worked on getting completely destroyed, and what that's your current. That's what you're doing for a living, and people that work from home, that's what they do for a living. Like that's their I guess like 9 to 5. That's where they go to work, and that's destroyed. And in addition to that, I say this. I've been saying this lately. It's nature, just in general. It's burning is a devastating thing to know and to witness, and I'm so sorry for humanity, for nature, especially for Mother Nature, for the air, our ecosystem, just everything, animals, all the way down to bugs, all the way up to birds. It's devastating. It's not
crazy.
Okay, but yeah,
I'll tell you, I was able to. I don't know how all these people. I have a lot of weird people on social media because of the show and whatnot, and I don't. I don't check in everybody. I'll get a whole
weird
50,
weird awesome though.
Yeah, but 50 people want to be my friend on Facebook, and I just approve it all. I don't care.
Hey,
because usually something will happen terrible, like the fire, and I'll take 15 minutes and scroll through the feed of all these people I really don't know in real life. And I block people like Neo in the Matrix dodging bullets. I am like, these people are just like, well, these people, the mistake they made, and blah, blah, and I'm just like, block, 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 block.
Oh, people, yeah, it's bad.
Yeah, what the hell, man? You're not in that. If you
People
got nothing
are
nice to say, don't say anything. How about that?
I agree.
Solve your problem.
I agree. I mean, it's really sad because what I've also seen is people say they have money, they can go elsewhere, and I'm like, it doesn't matter. So this is the thing. This is what I don't understand. It's like, if somebody has money, right? You have money, right? You've done it, right? You work, you have a profit, you have a home. If that's a problem for people, then what are they working for? Because ultimately, you're going to have, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. And if they can go and buy their home, it doesn't matter. Something burnt down, something that was theirs, something that even wasn't theirs, nature, right? Burnt down. Essentially, that's a bad thing. And having empathy for that, regardless of whether you're rich or poor, is empathy, right? It doesn't, that empathy isn't, it's not less than, it's not more than, it's just empathy. And there's nothing wrong with having that for somebody who's rich and here's the thing, this is another thing that gets to me. It's like, what is your problem though? So okay, so it's like, this happened, right? If this genuinely bothers you and you think people, quote unquote, I've seen a lot of people say that they deserve, I'm like, so then stop going on YouTube, stop going on the internet, stop watching shows, stop doing then
turn that TV off.
People, yes. And if you don't, and you're saying this, why do you still care about these people? Go live your life. Like, there's other
really, I'm an old man. I'm an old man. I've accepted it. I am definitely on the downhill side of my life,
No, I disagree with you. In a way where I'm not,
As far as distance goes, there's more distance behind me than statistically in front of me. And that's fine. I have no problem with that. But what that has afforded me is, and at the risk of sounding very California, New Agey and whatnot, it seems to me a pretty constant in the universe. The shit you put out is the shit that comes back at you, usually. Yep. And I guess these people must be young or something, because they're talking a lot of smack. And I'm like, oh, you're tempting the universe? That's not going to end well. I don't want to sit next to you. Yeah, when it happens.
And it's all about you. You put it out, it doesn't matter what other people think. It's going to boomerang back at you. And it's like, there's no reason for that, because either way, like, you're doing something and it's happening in different ways, right? And it's playing out whether you're doing it or not. And it's like, it's even when you think of that intention, it's like, even it's not bad. Thinking about that intention and kind of, like, I guess, holding back in a way is a good thing, because you've thought about it and you've caught yourself in the moment. But actually, like, executing that thought and allowing people to read that and feel bad about themselves, or because they have empathy for other people, that within itself boomerangs back at you. It has nothing to do with people saying bad things to you. It's a feeling. It's an energy that just just like bang.
Man. You don't want that in your life. The universe loves irony. It's you want to play this game? Here you go. And I've just seen that happen so many times, and it's crazy. But anyway, enough about the fires and stuff. And I'm with Reli.
It is what it is. It's important.
Reli, am I pronouncing that properly? I should have asked. Okay,
perfect.
Good. I'm glad.
Excellent.
I should have. I'm with her. My heart goes out, and I hope good things happen, positive things happen for anyone affected. That was quite a thing. From what I saw, I wasn't there. I didn't personally experience it, but thank God, knock on wood, I live in Hurricane Central. I don't want to be.
Yeah.
Just had a very expensive roof put on this house. I want it to stay Anyway, I love your music. I love your music.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Let me ask you this. Now, when you were a young lass, you growing up in LA and whatnot, hanging out with movie stars, I imagine, and what have you.
All day, every
Yeah,
day.
running into pop stars at the supermarket
All
and stuff.
day.
Although you'd be amazed. I went to a Denny's one time in LA and John Travolta was there. It was crazy.
That's awesome.
I didn't say anything,
awesome.
but yeah, it was just something I didn't expect. You're like, holy moly.
That's so rad.
I was kind of worried because I've seen Pulp Fiction and I'm like, oh, is some shit going to happen here? Maybe we need to leave, is all I'm saying. My spidey senses were tingling.
It felt like a set.
It could be. No, I wanted to ask you, you're a young lass. You're growing up in LA. Did you always... I grew up with 3 sisters. One of them was into pageants. So that meant she was also into ballet, gymnastics. There wasn't a weekend we weren't at some meet cheering her on of some sort. Were you that girl, that young lady? Did you know entertainment was what you were going to be doing? Being a pop star and all of that?
So not really. So, I mean, it's interesting. I guess I'd entertain my friends, but not in a way where I'd be like, I'm a pop star. For me, it was always film growing up and making videos with my friends. Yeah, it was mostly film, making videos with my friends, doing more of that stuff. I would say routinely going to a pageant that happened with piano, but it wasn't. Gotcha. Yeah, it was more like piano recital, Music kind of came. I mean, obviously, music has been there, but film was mine. I really wanted to do that for the longest time, and then I started to sing, and I was like, oh, maybe there's a future here. So,
nice.
So
well, you're great at it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, it went. So no, I wasn't that girl. I appreciate that girl, but no, it was mainly just entertaining my friends, but in a way where it's like, I guess, like laughter and more of an SNL type vibe.
I gotcha.
Skits, more so skits. I wouldn't just sit there and like sing to my friend. It's just me and my friend. I'm just singing.
I remember being a kid. I was in high school, maybe freshman in high school. And I knew this gal, Jody, this lady, girl, Jody, and she was great. She was a cool person. We liked a lot of the same bands and stuff. But my father, we had this big house and there was this big living room, and he got to a point where he just wanted stuff. He was at that point in his life, and he's like, we need a baby grand piano in this room is what we need. I'm like, Dad, nobody plays a piano. He goes, yet. Let's get a piano, see where it goes.
My parents did that too.
And yeah, you get to a point, you just start getting stuff. He bought a giant yacht, the same era. Anyway, that's not part of this story. So he looked in those days. There was
that's on brand, the yacht.
Yeah.
Like, let's get a boat. They always wanted boats. People wanted boats all the time.
I'm telling you, he went. What happened is he went with a friend of his to his boat. And it was a big boat. It was like 40 foot. And so he went out and had to buy a 50-foot one, But anyway, so he wanted this piano. And this was in the days, this was a long time ago. This is the 80s. There was no internet. There was none of that, So when you wanted something, you had to look in like the newspaper and the classifieds and stuff. So he found some baby grand piano in the classifieds in the hood of Detroit. And he goes, well, we got to test it out. Do you know anybody who plays the piano? And I said, yeah, my friend Jody does. She's cool. We like a lot of the same bands and stuff. And she takes lessons and has for years and years and years. He goes, well, call her up. We'll buy her lunch. And we're taking her with us so she can try out and make sure this piano is a good piano. And it works and everything. I said, okay. So we did. And we went down to, like I said, to the ghetto, the hood of Detroit. For those Detroit people listening, 6 Mile and Woodward area. And anybody from Detroit will go, Jesus Christ, that's bad.
Shout out.
So we went down there, and this piano was down. It wasn't a basement necessarily, but it was like a half basement maybe.
Yeah.
So we were down there, and so we're there. We're all standing around talking to this guy. My dad is. And then he looks at Jody. He goes, "Okay, girl, show us what this thing can do." And she said, and I figured she would knock out a Cure tune, maybe a Depeche Mode song. She went with Tchaikovsky or something, just sat down. She cracked her fingers like with a cartoon, and it just went. And we all stood there with our mouths open like, we didn't know we brought Beethoven with us. This is amazing. And we were super impressed. And
oh my God, that's awesome.
My dad just pulled out money. He gave her $100 just for being cool, I think, and paid the guy for the piano. It was amazing. I didn't get anything. No. Told me, he goes, you can polish this when we get home or whatever, but
I can see that. Like, she just starts playing, and he's like slowly going to the wallet and whipping out $100. He's like, "Here you go, ma'am."
Yeah.
Like she's busking.
Yeah, like she had a jar or something, you know? She didn't even have a jar. He just did. That was how my father was, though. It's just his.
No, that is on brand. That is so. This is 80s, right?
Yeah.
This sounds like the 80s.
I'm telling anybody out there that have kids, if they have a dream or they're an interest in something, I don't care what. If it's the xylophone, man, get them a xylophone. Drive them to xylophone because you never know.
Let's go.
You know?
Yes.
I saw somebody on
Follow your kids'
Instagram
dreams.
the other day bitching about, I got to take my kid to dance. I'm like, you know what?
You don't have to do shit.
You don't have to do anything, but if you do it, maybe that leads to something. Maybe that kid's going to buy you an infinity pool, you know? I mean, and plus, you're their parent. That's your job.
Yeah.
You know?
Follow your kids' dreams, people. Follow your kids' dreams.
Exactly.
And if they daydream, let them... shout out to daydreaming. Hey, teachers, let kids daydream. Hey, teachers, let kids daydream.
Absolutely.
I'll say it again. Hey, teachers. Oh, yeah, it's wild. Daydreaming and allowing just kids to, like, flourish with their minds is they will come up with the most amazing things. And if you box them in, it's really sad. Don't do that, guys. Let them think. Yeah.
Absolutely. And the thing is, no, we're going to get serious here. We've been screwing around a little bit, but the thing is Reli is a fantastic, and yeah, she can probably play the piano like Jody did when the mood strikes her. But she's lived a fast life as well. That's I think I'm not telling tales out of school or anything like that. But through it, and she used those experiences as rocket fuel to really channel into some powerful tunes, good music. And one of the things, yeah, me and my wife were talking about it because we were listening to music the other day.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
And because I told her, I said, hey, Danny, you got to hear this. This is amazing.
Thank you.
The cool thing is, we were listening. We're going to play 2 tracks today, folks. But one of the tracks we were listening to was very poignant. And I said, I'm so glad this is out in the world and the zeitgeist, you know?
Thank you.
Thank God I'm not in that room that she's... Well, you know what? It isn't that you were singing about and glorifying a bad situation. You had come out. There's hope. There's light at the end of the tunnel. And this was Ask for Help. And I'm like, I'm so glad because there is somebody out there. There's probably a lot of somebodies out there that will hear this and go, not today. I'm going to see tomorrow. And
it's wild.
You're doing that. And yeah, we're all art happy and ooh, isn't our art cool and all this and that. That's art that's doing something. And to me, that's good art.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, it's interesting. What's interesting about I think you're talking about Ask for Help, right? What's interesting about that song is it was also written I guess during turmoil,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess as I was coming off of alcohol,
Right.
and so hearing it now when I'm like completely, when I'm, I guess you can say like I'm 100% sober, and I'll have maybe like whatever here, like it's not, it's unbelievable that you can like, it's, how do I word this? It's, the word is, I guess it's unreal. It's unreal. It's unreal because you listen to this song when you're going through the turmoil and you're playing it and you're crying on the piano. And I don't even know if I was crying. You're feeling your feels on the piano,
Mm-hmm.
and now you can detach from it and hear the person that was playing it when that moment
That
happened.
chapter,
And
right?
yeah, and it's so unreal. And you hear about this, you hear artists doing it, and you're like, okay, I can have that moment. I'll do it now. I'll create that moment,
Right.
and not, obviously it doesn't have to be a bad moment, but it's like, let me go on the piano and like get into my feels. But when you're actually feeling something and you're going up and you're doing it and you listen to it after, it's unreal. It's really cool. And it has nothing to even, I guess it has nothing to even do with you. It's just the fact that that can happen is really cool.
Absolutely.
And that's what I want to put out to people, is that yes, alcoholism was something that I was in. I was an alcoholic, but what's really cool is that coming out of it, you genuinely see how much better it is on the other side. And wait,
Absolutely. It's so true.
it's so weird. It's so weird, and I'm saying that, and it sounds so cheesy, and it's like, it's really not. It's really cool, guys, and it's like, do it because it's worth it. And this is coming, and I'm not saying this to be like, no. I'm saying this because I did it, and right now, like, and obviously you have bad days. There's no doubt about it. You're not perfect whatsoever, but you kind of harness those bad days and you take them in and you're like, that was a bad day, not a bad life,
Right.
and
Absolutely.
that's the difference. And guys, trust me, just trust me, it's worth it. And no pressure too, no pressure,
No.
do
But
no pressure.
if you
And that's something
can,
I want to hear. Yeah, I wanted to hear no pressure. like Go up to, like, and creativity helps, but if you don't feel creative, don't feel pressure to be, just trust. Yeah, that's another thing I wish I heard. But honestly, sometimes even if you're really sad, going up and like just even playing one key
mhm,
is like, oh my gosh, there's
it
sound in the
breaks the
world.
spell. It
Yeah,
breaks the spell.
yeah.
I used to party pretty hard, and like I said, I lived pretty fast. And it's so funny because when you stop doing that, there's all these little amazing things that I noticed in my life. The friends, the crowd that I partied with, have no understanding. They're like, "You just stopped one day?" I'm like, yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
because they can't relate. You know what I mean?
yeah. It's
Um,
hard. It's really hard.
but there's little things like I was thinking. I was listening to your Same Old Things single. We're gonna play these guys. We're gonna play them. I promise. And I looked over, and we have a nice house. We have a cool house. One of the things we have in it is we have a bar. And I realized for the first, I'm like, had that bar for 10 years now, or however long we've had the house, and it's got liquor in it. I never drink it. There's all dust on the bottles and stuff. But for the first time, as a young buck, when you're hopelessly poor and you're living out here, you try to set up a bar to be cool. Every guy does. But it's all empty liquor bottles. They keep
Mm-hmm.
empty bottles in the bar just to kind of front that they're, you know. No, it's quite a feeling when you can keep full bottles, and it's not a problem. The other thing I don't miss is the mornings after. And I'm not saying I avoid hang up. Believe me, I don't drink because I know what tomorrow looks like. If I do, I don't like feeling my pulse in my eyes. That's a
Mm-hmm.
bad scene. But what's worse than that, when I was partying, is looking through my pants the next morning and going,
Mm.
"Did I buy the bar 2 or 3 rounds? Because I don't
Yeah.
have
Oh, the
any money left."
generosity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I'm like,
Generosity.
that led to, well, let me go through my phone and see who I called and pissed off and what fences I need to mend now. And I don't miss having to deal with that hassle. It's very...
There are so many things, just even in just like, oh man, and everything feels so like you're on top of the world and you're conquering everything. Just if you, as simple as like buying somebody a drink, oh my God, you're a hero. You're a hero. Like, you're an amazing friend. Keep buying people's drinks, and you can keep drinking. It's fine. Like, you'll be fine. Nah.
No, no.
I have another thing about that. Another thing that really helped me out. It's so simple, and I wish I'm saying it out loud now. I wish I heard this a million times more before, but the truth is, this is the truth. If you're planning on becoming an alcoholic, hear me out. Hear me out.
Or if you are one.
This is just the truth, and honestly, it's not fun. Do you want to lose your privilege for the rest of your life? Do you want to go to like an engagement party or a wedding or a bar mitzvah or somebody's birthday party and not have a beer and not? It's fine if you don't. If you're sober, don't. You're good. But if you're planning on being an alcoholic, you're going to lose that privilege for the rest of your life. So don't. And that's something that in the midst of being, and right now we're hearing this and it's like, okay, that sounds a little bleak, right? But it's not, because when you're an alcoholic and you're hearing that, oh wait, hold on, there's another way. I can, I'll still be able to drink, but let's make my life a little bit better so that I don't have to depend on this,
Right.
And eventually over time, when you do that, when you kind of balance it out, you don't even want to have those drinks at the part. That's the truth. It's your thought process. Hearing, I can never have a drink again if I keep going, and I only have a limited amount of time to do this, does kind of maneuver, like it kind of, I guess, like you pivot towards, okay, wait, so like what can I do now? And there's so many, I guess, like the best thing to say is not the best thing, but one of the things that I would want to hear is, I guess there are things that are more fun to do than drinking alcohol. And that's just the truth. Like, you can have a lot more fun doing something else, and hearing that too helps. And it sounds, again, bleak to another person. It sounds like, okay, what are you even saying? But when you're an alcoholic, or when you're trying to, I guess, when you're attempting to become one subconsciously, hearing that helps.
Absolutely. I would add...
Yes, I'm just spitting a lot of things. I'm trying to say everything I heard because this is the first interview afterwards.
I gotcha.
So I'm trying to yeah. So, but yeah, no, that's it. That's all I have to really say.
The only thing I would add...
That POV.
Is everybody... I was guilty of this. I would drink to loosen up before a social situation.
Of course.
And because I thought I was pretty funny when I was drinking. Everybody thinks they're funny when they're drinking. They never are. They're much more funnier when they're not drinking. Work helped me in that, not painting all of my demons out or anything, but when I would do work events, I never drank when I worked, but especially in Southern California, you're at something or something, you don't know who you're going to run into. You don't know who you're talking to. And I didn't want to be sloppy to the wrong person. I learned quickly that, I don't want that rep. And so, I would usually wait till after the event. It was my thing, but it did help nonetheless. I have to admit that. But handle your shit, people. That's all I'm saying. Handle your shit. You're better than that. Be the best you can be at whatever it is you're doing.
We really are. And we really are so much better as humanity. Like, humans are so much better than alcohol. It's so, and it's like, and I'm saying that not from like a weird, sober, annoying, dormant perspective. I'm saying it from a way, I'm like, dude, ace this shit. Like do it. Like ace it. Be your optimum human. Fuck alcohol. Don't let it control you. You're better than alcohol. Like, you're cooler
I read an interesting article right around the time. It wasn't because it didn't cause me to stop living fast, but it was probably shortly thereafter, and it was an interview with, and I've never met the guy. I don't know if he's a creep or not, but it was with Gene Simmons of the band Kiss, and somebody had asked him. They said, "Hey, you're one of the few rock stars who doesn't live the rock star life as far as getting blasted out of your head or whatever." And he goes, "No." He goes, "You're right." He goes, "I have a real nice life. I have any woman I want, this or that, great, lots of money. Why would I pour poison down my mouth? Why would I drink poison? I like my life."
It's true. That's that, and that perspective too. Drinking poison helps a lot too. It's like
Yeah, so I read that, and I was going, and at the time, I didn't have a bunch of, I wasn't at the Gene Simmons level of life, but I kind of wanted to be at some point, and I said, okay, first step to getting my equivalent there is to hold off on the schnapps, drink a Dr. Pepper.
Gene,
you know?
And to bounce off of what you're saying, Gene Simmons he's in my mom's workout class.
Really? There you go.
So yeah, my mom's workout, like you can only imagine like how, I guess, like
that is what I'm talking about. That's LA,
like
baby.
Sugary his life is. The guy that literally painted his face and like would go on stage and like absolutely just deem like nutsicles. Like comes to my mom's workout class, and then she tells us, she goes, Gene Simmons, and I thought there was another Gene Simmons. And it was really hard for me.
There was an actress.
It took me
back in the 50s.
A couple of minutes. I was like, wait, what are you talking about? Like she goes, Gene's from the band. I was like, it took me 5. I was like, are you saying like the man that paints his face? She goes, yeah, he's so nice.
See, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's because he's not
gnarly.
hungover.
That, and it's also just like, it's Gene Simmons out of everybody in the world that goes to her cardio bar class.
That's funny. That is hilarious.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's a gnarly story.
No, were your parents in entertainment as well?
No, not.
So you weren't,
at
other
all
than
whatsoever.
just living where you lived geographically. It wasn't in your. Okay.
I was. So Los Angeles. So I grew up in Sherman Oaks.
Okay.
And that's fair. I mean, we didn't drive to
Upper
Hollywood
middle
on a
class.
daily
Yeah,
basis.
that's nice.
We didn't drive to Hollywood on a daily basis and look for famous people. I know people have that preconceived whatever about LA.
There's some famous people that live in Sherman Oaks. At least when I lived out, it was out there.
Growing up, I saw, who did I see growing up? I saw a few people growing up in just here and there, but it's interesting. Yeah, people think, I mean, especially Calabasas, people assume, I mean, I knew so many people in Calabasas just by, I guess, living here, association. And when I say Calabasas to somebody that's not from Los Angeles, they immediately assume, they're like, oh, so it's just you and Khloe Kardashian. I'm like, no.
No, there's a whole city. There's a whole, Exactly.
Yeah, but
it's
an interesting. Yeah, LA's an interesting cat. I mean, now it's. I think I'm in denial a little bit about the fires. It's really hard for me to believe that it's happening, just in general, because I can't believe just like the Pacific Palisades. It's just gone. It's
a weird place for a fire to happen. It's hard to put your mind around. You know.
People don't get. Yeah, and it's such a community. People don't understand. I've never really. I don't know people from the Pacific, but I mean, they're like money wise, it's like generations of money people. This isn't like so it's like we're talking about homes that have been there for 60 years, 70 years, even longer. So the community there is just gone, and it's wild. And
in California, it's weird too, because when I was living
in
out there,
Altadena,
you would expect there's a wildfire in Big Bear or in Hemet or someplace far away up. Of course there is, you know, Yeah, not Pacific
Altadena
Palisades.
broke my heart. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's just
I
crazy.
got it. Yeah. I have
Crazy.
one story real quick about Altadena.
Yeah.
This one was this really, I mean, people, it's so devastating because people in Altadena, their homes were real, like those were generational homes as well. I mean, so Altadena, a person that lived in Altadena lived. I don't know if they're gonna go back, but he's an interior designer and he does plants. And his entire career is in his home. He's been raising. I mean, like
right.
These plants have been in his home for years. They just moved into his house, him and his boyfriend. A week before this happened, I'm looking at his Instagram. I'm like, okay, I want my interior to look A, B, and C. I love the way he's doing it. And his house burns down, and it's so sad. Most of his plants.
Yeah, all of his inventory.
Everything. And it's like, so now he has to kind of like start from scratch with his career. So it's just devastating. And then there was another person who just lost his 6-year-old house. That was so devastating. And he was so devastated.
Oh.
So much history happened in that. Yeah. I mean, everything, it all broke my heart, but there's specific stories in Altadena that are just, devastating. My heart goes out to you, Altadena. Yeah. I love you guys. I'm so sorry that happened. Even Pacific Palisades as well. Everybody that's affected. I'm so sorry. I'm not like I'm weird. I talk about something and I hyper focus on that. I talk about something I hyper focus on it.
No. I talk to artists all the time. That's how they are. That's one thing, folks. If you do come across creative types or whatever type of artists they are. They're not the best at communication. That's why they're an artist. That's why they're doing what they do, because that helps them express themselves. And
100%.
If they were, you're not going to have that same situation with somebody that sells insurance. Maybe the artist of selling insurance, the artist selling insurance. I don't know. Anyhow, let's not even talk about insurance though. Jesus, that's terrible. Terrible.
Yeah.
When the numbers, I've read some stuff, but I think really we're a couple months out before the final numbers start really rolling, the real effect economically of these fires and whatnot. It's bad news bears, man. Bad news bears.
Yeah, it's wild.
Hey, let's play a track. Yeah,
okay. On a happy note.
Tracks. Yeah, now we've got the two tracks we can do. We can do Ask for Help, or we can start out with Same Old Things. Let's ask, Reli, you're the boss, Applesauce. What should we hit people with first?
Let's do Same Old Things first. Same Old Things just came out today, by the way. So
awesome.
Feel free to
How
stream it
cool
on Spotify.
Is that?
Yeah.
That is fantastic. And folks, we have links. It's probably floating around the screen. We don't know that yet because our crack team of editors will add that in later. Everybody's like, yeah, the crack team, Jamie, it's you. You will be editing that. Yes, I will. But I'll do it. I'll make it look cool. It'll flip around or something. No, this is Same Old Things, but there are links, clickable links right in the description there, folks. And also all of Reli's social media. She's a young gal, so of course she's got a phone. She's on everything.
I have a phone.
What's weird, Reli, is you're one of the few artists of your generation that didn't have a TikTok listed. Are you anti-TikTok? I was surprised.
No, not at all. I love TikTok a lot, and I'm so sorry it got banned for a second. But no, I love TikTok. I'm not TikTok savvy. Like I gotcha. It's not something. Nothing against it. I'm not even joking. I just don't think about going. I guess it's my generation.
No,
I guess Instagram is it. And,
yeah, I hear you.
AOL from 2000.
The problem I have with TikTok is I don't have a phone. I don't use a phone. Everybody's like, "Oh, fast. You're Mr. Cool," and I'm like, "No, I'm Mr. Old," and I set things down and forget where they are. And phones are $1,000 a phone if you just go buy one, and I'm cheap, too cheap for that. So I don't have one. But my wife, every night when we go to bed, my wife it's an hour process of her scrolling through TikToks.
It's so fun. Yeah.
So as I'm going to sleep, I'm hearing all of the TikToks are seeping into my subconscious, and it gives me the craziest weird. I'm like, why is everybody dancing in this dream? What is going on here? It's the weirdest thing. Anyhow, folks.
I hear you. That happened to me with South Park.
Yeah,
Just
whatever
in the
you're...
background. Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly. I listen, it drives my wife crazy. She can't stand it. I listen to these, I'll put on, like, I don't know what they're called. They're on YouTube, and it's like a crackling fireplace with a distant wind or something. Yep. And it's like for 8 hours. So when she's out of town, I'll put that on. Me and the cat will, I don't know, be in a castle somewhere. Yeah, ear candy. That's just, then we'll dream that we're pirates or something. I don't know. Anyhow, this is Same Old Things, everybody. This is a great track. This is a fantastic track. It's by Reli. It's out now. Here it is. We're going to play it for you. Check this out. And here it is.
I just want someone to drink with. I just want to feel silly like a kid. I want to sing a song that we don't know and sing it wrong at a karaoke bar. And I know it sounds stupid, but maybe stupid means everything to me, and we know it was worth it when we'd wake up to the same old things. I know it's not ideal, but how can I conceal? I forgive the pain inside of me that needed a liquor to be free. But let's talk tomorrow. Here's one for you and one for me, in a bed of flowers, in a fortress of our very dreams. I just want someone to drink with. I just want to feel silly like a kid. I want to sing a song that we don't know and sing it wrong at a karaoke bar. And I know it sounds stupid, but maybe stupid means everything to me, and we know it was worth it when we'd wake up to the same old things. And I don't know how to tell you that I miss you. I wish you were here to drink with. I wish we could be silly like we did, 'cause I miss you like crazy. And I'm sorry for everything I did, and I know it sounds worthless, but maybe it's worth everything to me. So keep the tab open. Here's one for you, and another one for me.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. How about that? That's amazing. We didn't even move. That track is so good. We were transfixed. We didn't even move. We were just, and it's Reli's track. And I imagine she's heard it once or twice in the studio. And
never heard it before. That's wild. Whoa.
That's such a good track. Let me ask you.
Thank you.
I was talking, I had somebody on the other day, and I had mentioned that when people look at my paintings and stuff, they see the finished product. They're like, Jamie, he woke up this morning, he knocked that out, he had a vision, the muse was upon him, and he just painted it, and, that's great. And I love
your paintings,
Jamie. Very rarely, thank you, will that happen. Usually I'll have an idea, I'll draw it out, and then I'll get into a giant artistic fight with it. I want to throw it in the street and and curse it out, and things don't work or this that. It fights me.
What makes you think that? What triggers that thought?
It just happens, I'll screw up. One of the biggest things, my wife, even my dog, if my dog hears me go F or shit, I can fix it. That's the big thing. they like leave the room. The daughter
Yeah.
going to the table. She's like, oh God, here we go. But when I hear same old things, I'm hearing the end result. I'm hearing this perfect track. It's polished. It's great. And as someone not in your world, it's easy to go, Reli, you know how she is. She woke up this morning. She had the idea. She just went over to the piano and knocked this out, and boom. Didn't even send it to a producer. It was just, there it is, just perfect. So I always ask, and I know that's, maybe it is the case on some, maybe it's not. Chances are maybe
sometimes.
Not
for me. Not for me.
Yeah, when things come easy, I celebrate because it's such a rarity. When I hear this, though, let me ask you, because I always ask my musician friends this when I hear good art. Was this an easy one? You don't have to answer if you don't want to, if I'm getting too personal. Was this an easy one, or was this a hard one?
It's interesting. Writing this song was quick and easy, and that's rare, very rare. But the production was very, very hard on this, which I love. Which is what I strive for. I love challenges in production. It was hard just background vocals wise. I mean, there's so many background vocals. There's so many layers to this song that you wouldn't initially hear, just because why would you listen to a song and think, oh, there's so many layers, but which people do, but it's not, I guess it's not the norm. But there are so many layers. If you actually listen back to the song, you will hear there are like 5 to 6 to 7 layers that stack up that you have to kind of hear before the production to have it make sense later on. So that's the hard part. Writing it was, I guess, easy. I don't want to sound too like I'm not.
No,
it was an easy process. Writing was easy. Production was hard. Sometimes writing is hard and production is easy. It really depends on the song. Depends on the energy. Depends on. I'm working with a producer too. I work with Jonathan David. Shout out to Jonathan David, and shout out to Trend PR, to Taylor.
Oh yeah, I forgot to mention. I said I was going to give her a shout out too.
To Ash, shout out to you guys. Thank you so much for everything, to Ashley and Taylor. You guys are amazing. Yeah,
absolutely. Taylor's still with me. And folks, hey, Trend PR, some of the best. It's one of the best PR firms I have in my experience.
They're absolutely amazing. They're amazing.
So all I'm saying is, if you're in a band or whatever, and you need some PR help, I don't know what you got to do. Go pick up Taylor's dry cleaning, wash her car, drop her off at the nail salon, whatever you got to do, man. Just get those people in your corner. I'm kidding. Of course, usually it's writing a check is how that works. But
they're incredible. They're really good at what they do, and they blow me away. I'm telling you,
I deal with over 20 different PR companies, and every Christmas, Trend PR is the only one that sends me a Christmas card.
Oh, that is so sweet.
And I'm like,
that's so amazing.
Pretty basic, folks.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Shout out to Trend. You guys are the best. Everyone should strive to work with Trend. Honestly, they're amazing. They really are. They help me a lot. They help me, especially with growth. Like I felt like I was doing the most before. I wasn't even doing a fraction of what I was supposed to.
And they're pretty hardcore too. They come up with a plan.
They're hardcore. They're good.
They're like, okay, we're doing this. This gets released here. This is what's happening.
Oh yeah.
It's professional. It's very big time. So yeah, get Trend PR. We got a link to them too. Very, very cool. Let me ask you. I just wanted to
Ashley and Taylor.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm giving out another shout out.
Oh no, it's fine. It's fine. But I wanted to ask you because, like, if I listen to classical music, say, everybody's favorite classical composer, Beethoven, it's a whole symphony I'm hearing. But I always wonder. I'm like, no, when this cat sat down and started writing away. He obviously had the idea in his head and this and that. Through the third movement, that's when the French horns come in. Mm-hmm. Was he thinking that, or was he just on the piano and goes, it's a good tune and blah, 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 and somebody else kind of added all that other stuff? Really?
It depends. Sometimes I'll come through. Yeah.
When you're thinking of same old things and you're writing that out, did you envision that there's going to be all these layers and stuff? And
no.
Really?
No. So Sometimes yes, sometimes 100% yes, you want that to happen and you envision it and you're like, okay, you're writing it kind of based off of that. But with this song, I thought this song was going to be a simple, honestly, guitar and vocal, and that's it. And my producer, John, he said, he comes
He
through
heard it and had a vision.
he's like,
But it was
basically like, excuse me, this is a similarly, I have a vision of Queen, and I'm like, what? And if you hear the initial, and this is like kind of like, and I'm like, John, what the hell are you talking about? Because when I first sang it initially, it really, that was and when I say the farthest thing, I typically strive to sound like that. This was different. I was like, this song's gonna be different. So he comes through and he's like, no, this is let's make this something. And then I was like, okay, if we're gonna make this something, let's add the vocals then, and blah blah. So it's kind of bounce off each other, like back and forth, know. Cool. But yeah, he gave me the idea to make it more than what it is for sure, or what it was supposed to be.
Production is crazy, and I have wild. No musical background other than listening to music. That's my whole.
Which is a musical background, because listening is.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. During COVID, I ran out of things to watch. I ran out of shows. Everybody went on hiatus during COVID. Nobody was making the blacklist, so I'm like, well, what am I going to watch now? And the Roku put YouTube up on my big TV. I suddenly could watch.
Same. I was watching YouTube. Yeah.
So I started watching all this weird shit, and everybody's like, "Oh, great! What weird thing could possibly weird?" No, it wasn't like that, folks. I started watching. There was this. I don't know if they still have a channel. Maybe they do. I haven't looked it up because the regular shows are back on, but I should, because it was fascinating to me. And again, I'm not in the music business, but it was called Produce Like a Pro, and it was for home production or smaller production studios. And I didn't realize, man, you got to know your shit when you start producing stuff. I mean, that is like hardcore.
You have to hear stuff, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was amazing. And they had all these famous engineers on. They would interview and stuff, and they break down songs. So like, listen to this bass at this point, and blah, blah, blah. I found it fascinating. I'm like, wow, I had no idea that was part of that, or that involved.
It's wild.
That's why they have nice cars.
There's a good documentary where you can kind of like just watch the entire process of it all. Have you seen it's called Basement Tapes? It's Bob Dylan. It's really good. It's Bob Dylan songs that they found like I guess so many I want to say was it journals? They just found journals and journals of Bob Dylan. This is old. So, and I guess a group of musicians gathered together, and each one had their own, I guess, single or two singles to kind of recreate this scratch song into something, and it's wild, and it's a pretty popular.
I will definitely check that out.
Here? Let me grab the exact name. Basement Tapes. God, my brain is just like it's so interesting. The Basement. Yeah, it's called The Basement Tapes. There we go. I was correct.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, and that's something else. That's a valuable lesson right there. Valuable illustration, folks. I don't care what you're doing. I don't care if you're painting, you're making music, you're baking bread, whatever it is. Learn everything you can about your craft.
Yeah.
It's very important, and no matter what you're doing. You don't know what
you're good at. Sometimes. You don't just start something, and you could your friend, she just goes down to the piano and just literally Beethoven, Bach over here, just let your I guess your creativity do the talking.
Exactly, and explore. It's amazing. Let's play the other track we're going to play today.
Ask for help.
Ask for help. Yes, I have it right here in front of me. Folks, this is you're working. We're just going to play the audio track of this today because she's making a new video for it. And I can only
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, I can only imagine what it's going to be like, because I got to tell you, the last one, baby, she's like, yeah, I'm just going to write a song about, whatever, breaking up with my boyfriend and blah, blah. No, this wasn't that. This was not that. She as a great artist, she painted a painting that you think about for days and weeks following. I say this with all sincerity, no joking around. I'm so
Thank
glad
you so much.
you came out of that, you know.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
And you got a good track out of it too. So here it is, folks. This is Ask
Thank
for
you.
Help.
Thank you.
Check this out.
On my knees, ever so near, Father, I pray that I'm finally free. Stay awake, only to fall asleep. And so I follow. I fall down on my knees. Maybe I should ask for help. Maybe I should. Maybe I should ask for help. Maybe I should. Maybe I should ask for help. On my way through the season, Father, I've stayed, but now I've got to leave. It's early ways, I'm afraid to dream. And so I follow. I fall down on my knees. Maybe I should ask for help. Maybe I should. Maybe I should ask for help. Maybe I should. Maybe I should ask for help. Maybe I should. Maybe I should ask for help.
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and we're
Yeah.
back. It's amazing. It's amazing. I didn't lie. That's a fantastic track.
Thank you. Thank you.
And all I'm going to add right off the top of my head after listening to that is, if you are in that particular room or whatnot, or a similar room or whatever, there's help out there. That's something you want to pursue. I've known a lot of people. There's no shame in any of that. And life, the interesting thing, I'm going to be an old man again for a second. The great thing about life is you can always course correct. You can adjust your sails. You can say, you know what, I want to go in a different direction than whatever, whether that be positive or negative. You know, it's all about choices, and it's all about the person in that room and making choices. A lot of people I've known found help, go into a room with other people in that situation and sitting in a circle and talking about it. No shame in that. If that's what it takes. Whatever you can do, of course, do whatever you got to do to achieve your goal. If your goal's not winding up dead, and I think that's a good goal for anybody. Do what you got to do, man.
Always ask for help. Honestly, asking for help there's 100% no shame in it. There's so much power in it. Asking for help, just in general, ask anybody for help. Ask yourself for help. Ask your friend for help. Ask the universe for help. That's a big one. Asking the universe for help, you will see it'll come back tenfold.
Absolutely.
Like you will get help. Ask it. It's so important. So yeah, 100% agree.
I'll tell you one of the weird things about, and I'm just coming from a place. I've only been maybe 3 meetings with friends that needed somebody to go with them, and blow them down. Let's do it.
And be that friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
For somebody too. Like, you have no idea how much that means. Like, people that are there for you during this time, those are your freaking friends, you guys.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But one of the weird things about it is be prepared, because you never know who you're going to see at that meeting. And it might surprise you. It might, you're like, oh, I had no idea. No, you didn't. I've been coming to these meetings for 15 years. That's why you had no idea. You know what I mean? You didn't know me at the beginning of this journey.
And you will see how it also, it makes you, like, you go in, you're like, okay, I don't want to do this. I don't want to go. I don't want to do this. But you don't know how you're going to feel. That's just the truth. You don't know. Go in and see how you feel. There's literally no one and nothing is stopping you. There's no shame in it. Who cares? Go in. What are you doing? Walking into a room? Walk in a room, sit down, chill out. Like, and I'm not saying no pressure, honestly. Do it without any pressure too. Just like, and sometimes if telling people like to not care, like, don't care, just go in. You don't have to be the best. Go in, look.
Yeah, you're not the party
do whatever
star
you want
there.
with. You're the person that's getting help. Everybody's there to help you.
Absolutely.
That's the truth. So you go in and you get that help, and there's no shame, honestly. And I'm telling you to do it because it's, first of all, there's a lot of there's a lot of power in it, and you're taking control of your life. You're taking your life back. And day 1, day 2, sure, it'll be hard, but trust me, day 3 will be a little bit easier. It's always day 3, day 2, day 3. It's all, when each day passes, it gets easier and easier. And I guess the need to want to do it deteriorates, because you're not going to want to do it at the end. That's just the truth. You might have days where you're craving it, but it's not it. Your need to want to be sober is so much more powerful.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you something that happened to me, and I was there with my friend.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not giving anything away or anything. This was in Hillcrest, California, which is primarily an LGBTQ neighborhood, very friendly and very full of allies. Or at least when I lived in San Diego, that was the case. So I went with my friend. Now, I've said it so many times. I've lived a fast life. I had a fast life. But I thought I've had some experiences. I've had some stories in that life. And I thought that they were pretty wild. I was like a Boy Scout compared to some of these people are telling,
some stories.
You're like, geez, Louise.
Wild. Yeah. The deep end is the deep end. Yeah. People don't. And then the thing is, like, you're so like effed up that you don't even know what's happening. And then somebody else tells you that it happens. You're like, what? And these stories, it's fascinating, because you're one person when it's happening, and then when you hear it happening, when you hear that it happened, it's as if you're a different person listening to somebody else's story. That's what's and it's like, how did I even do that? You can't.
And I'm not saying it was glamorous things that happened.
Yeah,
I was shocked. By the craziness of it. I'm like, Jesus, how are you alive? What?
Yeah. Yeah, just please, guys, stay away from driving, drinking, and we have Ubers. Call an Uber, call your friend. Just don't drink and drive, please, God.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, because that's a pain. There's classes. It's just a big. Ask someone who's been through that. It's a big pain in the ass.
Multiple people. Yeah, it's a pain in the ass. You can hurt somebody. You can hurt yourself. No. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah.
I remember when
And
I
the
was,
guilt also
oh,
afterwards.
yeah.
No, not worth it. Yeah.
I remember being a kid. I was in college. I'd come to visit my parents who lived in central Michigan. They'd moved up away from Detroit. And I was visiting them for a week. And one of the things I really like doing is going to garage sales. And so my father's like, hey, there's a bunch of garage sales. You want to go? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I might find something cool. And I did. At the first one we went to, it was a big axe. Double-sided axe that somebody was selling. It looked like something Conan the Barbarian would have. And I said, man, I want that for my wall. I want this young guy. Weird pets and stuff like that are just the lifeblood of young guys. And my father said, absolutely not. You're not buying. I was in college too, so it wasn't like I was a kid. And he's like, absolutely not. He goes, that is something that you and your idiot friends will have a moment with. Somebody will get mad. Somebody brushed against a girl, or a girlfriend's talking to somebody. Something will happen, and in an instant, that person's life will change forever. From a
or even if
poor
it's something
decision.
funny.
Yeah.
Even if they're trying to be like stupid, like, oh, look at me, I'm with an axe. Like that could literally like fall and kill you.
He goes,
yeah.
Set yourself up for success. You don't even bring that into the equation. And I think about that every so often because it's absolutely true. And
it is.
You got to be smart. You can't put yourself
Swords
in
and
bad
axes.
situations. And I'll tell you something I have also learned about partying and drinking and drug, all that kind of stuff is people in general, not always, but people 99% of the time, maybe 95% of the time, 98, make poor decisions when they're fucked up. Not saying you will never make a poor decision if you're not effed up.
It's easier to make a poor decision.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And
quicker courage. That's what it is. You have this courage. You're like, oh, I don't know, I'll buy a car, or I'll I'll go. Like, what are you talking about? And then you wake up and you're like, oh no,
no, that's bad.
Not that I bought a car, but you know what I mean. Like that, it's just like nah.
No, it's very true. And hey, don't even. I have a second ex-wife that I thought was a good idea that I had known an hour and a half. This was in Las Vegas, but
oh my god, decisions like things that you eat,
watch,
do,
funny.
You think, oh my god,
And I learned firsthand an annulment in the state of Nevada is $500.
Yeah.
So that was an expensive evening, is all I'm saying. And all of my friends laughing at me. That was
oh my god,
not in an entertaining way. It was very embarrassing.
Hey, it is what it is. It's a part of you're gonna write a little short story about it.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Do a little short story.
Yeah, find a good partner. You know what? You don't even have to find a good partner to be a better person. Be a better person for yourself.
Yeah, be like.
I'll tell you,
try.
That's something else in life I have found is once you get right with you, it's way easier for somebody else to get right with you.
Yeah, true. And if you're right with you, you'll have a lot more fun.
Absolutely, absolutely. You'll remember it.
You'll enjoy life a little bit more if you're good with yourself.
Now, before we wind things up, because we forgot to give a shout out. We forgot to give a shout out to the two important people there with you. They've been good and quiet the entire interview. What are their names? Because I'm looking at your Instagram right now. There's a lot of cool art. Man, I love this art that you for your singles. I guess that's your mom. I'm seeing a little you a lot. I don't see any reference. Wait, you've got some blue nails. And you're kissing one of them, but you can't see who it is because his face isn't there.
Yeah, they're there. Niles and Benjamin. They're here.
Nice.
They're Niles and they're sleeping.
There you go.
Oh yeah, they're my babies. They're my life. They're my support. They're my support team. They've been through it the whole time with me, and they're the best. I call them my little nurses. They're my little angels. They're honestly, they're like my babies. It's really like, someone would say it's pathetic and someone would say it's lovely. That's just where it is. They have a stroller.
I'm so annoyed with that
there.
because when we first got our dog, she's a Shar-Pei that we got through this Shar-Pei rescue group. And yeah. Oh, you do?
Yeah. So he lives with my parents.
Oh,
Simba.
okay.
He's half Shar-Pei, half pit. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is yours fully Shar-Pei?
Oh, yeah. And
sweet.
I thought, the thing is, I love my dog. I'm not trashing my dog, anybody.
You can trash your dog. They'll trash you back.
No, that's the great thing about a dog. No, I was doing pretty well, and I said, well, I want to get a dog. I want to get a fancy dog. My parents used to have Shar-Peis when they were buying big boats and stuff, so I said, I want to get a Shar-Pei. Be a big shot. And what I didn't realize about a Shar-Pei is you have to buy a bag of food for them. It's $60, and you have to clean the wrinkles and do all this stuff. And I could have went to the pound and they got a beagle or something, a mutt, and it would have loved me just the same. But yeah.
But it's a calling, right? So like, your dog's your dog. They're meant to be your dogs. They're there for you in a sense.
And my dog calms me down. Like I've said so many times, I'm an old man. I'll watch the news and yell at it like my father-in-law watches a hockey game. I'm like, you idiots! What's wrong with you?
My dad does that.
Oh, don't you know what a terrific all this stuff? And I started noticing my dog, Mei Ling, she would get upset too, because she's feeding off my vibe. So she's over in the corner. I hate him too. I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm mad too because he's mad.
Screw him! I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah. And so I saw it. I'm like, well, that ain't good. That ain't good at all. So I got to start calming down. Maybe watch less of the news and watch a bushcraft video or something on YouTube. And then I'm calm. I'm like, yeah, man, I think on the frozen north, we could build a hut. We could be all right. We could do this.
That's the thought. We could be a pack. I could live with you, and you could. That's how you know I love you. If I will go and live in your cave with your puppies.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. Oh yeah, my dog. One of them, they both sleep on my bed, but one of them straight up just goes into the blanket and will just sleep there all night, and with me on my leg. And I'm like, that's fine. Like, well, let's just put it this way: I'm the dog, and there's no I'm the
we have a cat that does that. I am definitely the cat's human, and my wife's like, I'm just chopped liver. She walked in the bedroom the other day. I was taking a nap, and the cat's the little spoon. I'm holding her like a football kind of.
Oh, Bubby.
And she's like, she's on my side of the bed. I'm like, well, yeah, you know what? I don't know what to tell you.
Cats are that's another story. Cats, listen. They're side by side with humans. I respect you. You respect me, kitten. Like we're roommates.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want a cat so bad. So I'm excited that you have one and you have dogs.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And the crazy thing is I will say this. Anybody out there, and I know I see the little light blinking here, but just to throw in, if somebody's planning on getting a rescue, and it doesn't matter, Shar-Pei, whatever. This is the true facts right here, ladies and gentlemen. That's great, getting a rescue. First off, be able to take care of it. If you can't take care of yourself, it ain't time to be getting a pet.
True.
You know? Yeah. And the other thing is when you get a rescue, my dog's great, but there's been trainers, expensive trainers and stuff, because she wasn't socialized young. I didn't know anything about her life before we got her. Yeah, she lives high in the hog and lap of luxury for her now. But before that, all I knew is she was from Puerto Rico and they got her off the streets. And
similar to my dog.
This is a weird story. I'd be working in here, painting away. And I usually make a bagel or something, put it in the toaster. Wouldn't think about it. The dog, the bagel would pop up. The dog would freak out, hide under the table, shaking and stuff. Just,
It's
all worked up.
traumatized. It's trauma response. It's so sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
Until they don't.
Well, then I was thinking, I'm like, what the hell could have happened with a toaster, And I'm like,
I know. It's so
crazy
sad.
dog.
It's
So
so sad.
a couple days later, I'm in here painting, working away, and trying to pay a light bill or something. That's how I make my money. And bagel pops up, same scenario. For the first time, I heard that bagel pop up clearly. I grew up in Metro Detroit, but I lived a lot down in the city of Detroit after I moved out of my parents. And it's the same exact noise, that bagel popping up, as a Glock cocking.
Oh, wow. So yeah.
And I'm not saying she was shot or anything like that.
No, she must have been around it.
Yeah, she was around it. She heard that noise and probably a big scary bang after. And
that's so sad.
I'm like, oh, that's the trauma. So we started, we'd spend an hour a day under the kitchen table showing her the toaster and eating a bagel with her and letting her have
same
a
with
treat.
My dog's the same.
Yeah, and you just got to do this, And so my point is you don't know the history of the animal you're getting.
You don't.
So be prepared for some work.
Mm-hmm. And know that my dog too, similarly, she comes from, we don't know exactly what happened to her, but she's a trauma dog. It took a long time. I mean, everything has to be a good boy. And similar to your toaster, what I would do is I pick up the toaster and be like, it's a good boy. See, it's a good boy. And I give it a kiss and I give it a hug, and that's how she would warm up to things. And it's hard. It's really hard. It's so sad. It's like, what happened to you guys before? And why would somebody do that next to you guys? That's so sad. Like, people have these are animals, people. Like, they're not, come on, they're innocent. Leave them be. Don't involve them in your crap, in your human crap.
Exactly. Exactly. So true.
Man.
So true. Yeah. But yeah, she's crazy. My dog's so spoiled.
Oh, they're crazy. And once they flourish, they're the best. My dog will literally run in circles for an hour. I'm like, oh, cool. That's you.
Yeah. The zoomies.
Yeah. The zoomies.
Oh my gosh. My dog, if I don't put like her wet food in the microwave for a little bit and then try to feed her, she's like, this is not ready for me.
Your dog's smart. Yeah.
Yeah, she has to. There's been so many times I'll say, okay, I'm sorry, I forgot. Let me take this in here, and I'll pretend to put spices and do everything except wear a chef hat. Yeah. And then she'll eat it. The same exact food.
She's playing you like a fiddle, buddy. But it's fine. It's okay. She comes to, I say the same thing about, it's fine. You come from trauma. You can play me.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Very true. All the women in my life do that. It's no surprise. Yeah. I'm used to it. Anyhow, folks, like I said, Reli, we've got all of her web, all the social media, everything right down here in the links. Like I said, it's probably floating around the screen also. But like and share. And one of the cool things is, same old things just dropped today. One of the cool things I like about streaming sites is just the tons of revenue that they provide the artist. No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna let that cat out of the bag. Everybody's got Google, but all I'm gonna say is, if that was any other business, that would be fraud and whatnot. It's highway robbery.
Wild.
That's all. But no, what I was going to say is, one of the cool things about streaming, if you have a friend or something, or you're at work or this or that, or there's a gal 3 cubicles down that has some nice legs or something, you want to ask her out on her birthday, you could get her a card like everybody else does. You got her email. You got a streaming thing. All you have to do when you buy the track, it's like 99 cents or whatever it is. As long as you have the person's email, send them a track. Suddenly, you're James Bond. You're not like everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty awesome. And you can do that.
I know, it's wild. It took a minute for me to be. I mean, I've been doing this for 12 years before, I guess a little bit before streaming. Even going to a show and the sound check is all on an iPad. It's just so wild to me. It's unreal. I mean, on one end it's good, on one end it's like, I miss back in the day, but it was way harder. Streaming is lovely if you if you get out the fact in your head where it's like it needs to be like an
Absolutely.
for
I'm so
get it out
old.
of
Everybody bitches about Twitter X now. Yeah, and for obvious reasons. I'm not on X for obvious reasons and
I'm
whatnot.
not on X, yeah.
But everybody bitches about it. But I remember back in the 80s growing up, knowing all my friends were in bands. That's who I hung out with. And I'd want to go see one of their shows, and they're like, well, we can't get you on the list, Jamie, but here's 200 flyers and a stapler.
Yeah. Go pass them out.
Yeah, go to every telephone booth pole in town, and that's how you earn your ticket. Okay, I did that many times. Wild. I got to tell you, somebody's girlfriend would get sick and wouldn't be able to run the merch table. I ran a lot of merch tables in my day, too.
Merch tables.
Helping friends out. But, yeah, social media changed that. Now you can say, hey, Twitter or X, we're playing here at this time, and 6,000 people know it, then all their friends know. It's amazing.
It's cool. It's really cool.
You might find out on Facebook that your aunt's a little bit racist, but there's other things on there is all I'm saying. It makes...
Oh, good.
I'll put it this way. Remember that girl you had a crush on in high school? Well, you can see what she looks like today and say, dodged a bullet. They're probably saying that about me. They're like, look at this.
No, but if anyone says that about anyone, that they're just saying it about themselves.
Exactly. Hey, folks, on that note, we're going to wind things up. Reli's the girl. You got to keep her like and share. Add her on your Instagram. It's amazing.
Add me, Reli Music.
That's right. And it's really cool. She's got a really good social media. I like this. And are these, these are, man, there's a whole set of these. I don't know who did this art. Cheryl
It's
a
Dolly.
Yeah,
are you talking about the AI? Yeah, Dolly AI. It's really cool. Check it out, guys.
Yeah,
it's
that's
Dolly.
Amazing, man. It's very, very cool. I love it.
It's really fun. Thank you.
I love it. But yeah, check all that stuff out. Like and share. Help get the word out and whatnot. Support independent artists. Yeah, they make the cool stuff. And we will be back next time. Remember, the world's still kind of a weird place. And hey, we've been talking about drinking so much. Here's a tip. If you're traveling, I find them hilarious, but your only mission if you're traveling is not to get drunk and wind up in a Karen compilation video on YouTube. Leave the booze at home. You ever notice you never see a Karen video on the Greyhound? Because they don't allow booze on the Greyhound. That's why you don't see them, you know? And if you find yourself in one of those videos, just some advice. You ain't going to win against the cops. So you ain't going to talk yourself out of it. Just yes, sir, and no, sir, or yes, ma'am, and no, ma'am, and go get that pretty black and white picture taken. Jesus Christ. And don't put yourself in that situation. That's all I'm saying. But be kind, be patient with people, and they will be kind and patient to you. That's how that works. We will see you next time, everybody. Did we miss any shout-outs? Because we can do them now.
Shout out to Jonathan David. Shout out to Trend PR. Shout out to Taylor and Ashley from Trend. Thank you, Trend. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, there we go, folks. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
This has been pop art painter Jamie Roxx's Pop Roxx Radio Talk Show. It has been executive produced by Jamie Roxx, recorded at his studio in Deerfield Beach in South Florida. All rights reserved by Pop Roxx Limited. Hannah Oli, Pop Roxx Radio. Estás escuchando Jamie Roxx de Pop Roxx Radio. Manténganse al tanto.
Hej, det här är Hicks från Sverige och ni lyssnar till Pop Roxx Radio med Jamie Roxx.